This will be another video where I'm reading the comments. People are getting mad at me. I posted a video where I pointed out that a specific meme is literally just a lie and nothing else. And it doesn't matter if somebody had some credibility before today's date saying that on Alex Jones' show. He lacks credibility because he's a psychiatrist or psychologist who decided to make some sort of assertion about artificial intelligence, encryption, and counterfeiting. How do we fix this? I believe we need to do it all over. I was cheated out of my vote. So many people were cheated out of their votes. Honestly, by now, my thing is I vote Jesus Christ 2020. Why do we not have him on an independent selection? Your straight answers: you're in an area that doesn't allow write-ins. Two, you wrote in Jesus Christ, which is the same as writing in Mickey Mouse. It's not a person on the ballot. The rest of your argument in here is about you basically telling everybody who might read it that you're deluded. And your channel name basically refers to you being a religious person who does not believe in reality being more important at this moment. So here we go. Next one. I have a channel I consider a friend who seems to be upset with me reading the statements of people who are chanting their statement verbatim. Again, if you're watching. The people outside of the place that was counting votes said stop the count. They did not say stop the vote. And when they were asked specifically what they meant by that, they said they didn't want the vote to happen anymore. And a couple of them, more than a couple of them, said because they didn't want their candidate to lose. That's not me misinterpreting what they're saying. That's me quoting it verbatim. Please stop it. You don't need to print fake ballots. They print tons of them. That's how you get a new one if you make a mistake or spoil it. I'm not talking about that. The video is about someone claiming that a specific type of ballot with some tracking on it was sent out, and those are the supposedly legal versus non-legal ballots. That is code word for ballots that are sent to a specific person at a specific address after they've registered to vote and requested the vote be sent to them. That's the narrow range of answer I got from a couple of dozen people so far. Okay, we'll use that. That means it's already tracked to you. But yeah, you're right about you can get, they're not fake ballots. They're, by definition, you just said they're not fake ballots. They're real ballots. The information on the ballot and its authenticity going to a single human being is what makes it authentic. And again, people don't go in and grab 50 or 60 fake ballots, or excuse me, blank ballots, and just fill them out. They don't. It's that time and time again, this has been shown not to happen. This is all presumptive on the idea that every time someone's losing an election, Democrat or Republican, they can claim that everything is a fake ballot if they want to. But they can't do it if there's more than 1% difference between them. At that point, it's really hard because there isn't that much screw-ups, which is the majority of the bad ballots. I already explained that. But the thing is that people who intentionally fuck with the voting system, that's a person running around during a day, or maybe weeks, trying to create fake entries for other people's names. That gets caught eventually, or it might not. The point is, that requires a tremendous amount of effort. Out of 30 million people in this country that could vote, and we have over 100, we're bordering on 140 million out of our population voting this year. No, you're not going to have an effect on the vote. It's widespread. No, it's not. Every time someone says widespread fraud with voting, they're lying. That's it. I don't even listen to it anymore. Crying wolf for about a decade now. Actually, more than that. Yeah, it's dumb to think the Department of Homeland Security printed all the ballots. Each locality has a different ballot. I found out that individual counties do this too. Local elections, proposals, etc. That's why there's a filing deadline to get on the ballot. True. They also revise it afterwards, not because someone did or did not meet the ballot timing, but because somebody might have died who is a candidate. Sometimes they leave them on there because it's too late to change it. Those are the ones I used for the timings. So they can't print them in time. I'm pretty sure each county has to submit what they need on the ballot. How many they need, then the Secretary of State probably has one standardized print company to do them, or a few around the state. It's actually multiple, I found out, simply because they could be closer and get it over with, and they can also get a better price. But I'm pretty sure the Secretary of State would handle it. I doubt each county would be responsible. Correct. Next one. How would I do this? Okay, would this work? Since they were expecting tons of mail-in ballots, you basically piggyback on this. Here in Michigan, they were able to open and prep the mail-ins on Monday. To my understanding, they started immediately counting them election day. Most places, I'm sure, got it done in a timely fashion. Wayne is huge and took longer. They have a registration list. Here we go with the assertion and or question here. Here we go. Once the polls close, you see how many votes you need. You make sure the person hasn't voted in person. They can see if you voted, right? They fill out a ballot, then add those new ballots to the mail-in pile. This is all done in secret. Once ready to be counted, how would the observers know if it was done? That's why we have election day, and ballots must be received by a certain time. The ballots must show a postmark if they're mailed by that time at a specific time during the day, 7 p.m. I found out. You're actually better off going to the polls directly on foot. Next, if it's postmarked properly and shows up a week later, you still have to count it. It doesn't count towards it if it's late, but the timing is Friday yesterday, after which they'll still count them. They still list them, even if they're bogus, even if it just says Jesus on it. But they do actually count them. But they don't add them to the official tally because it is too late. That's a little excessive. And no, mail-in ballots are not by definition unconstitutional. Someone actually said that at one point, which is kind of strange because that's been run through repeatedly. Every single election, someone decides to try to invoke the Constitution because there's a line in it that says the voting has to happen on a certain day. And it does. But if it's done in the postal system, it does arrive. And I'd like to point out the last argument that was made to try to invalidate this. The U.S. postal system and other methods have been used for a very long time to deliver ballots after they've been counted. They're put in a ballot box for a reason. They don't just sit there and count them while you're sitting there. And that ballot box would be the official time slammed shut, locked, and then physically transport the box with a Republican and a Democrat and maybe an independent or a Whig following you to take it to a location, a central location for all the ballots to be counted. That's it. And in the past, some areas would have an election for local stuff only, separate, so that they didn't have to deal with this, because a lot of people just don't give a shit about local elections. Some people only care about the local elections. I lived in an area that we just did local, and it was a separate set of ballots, because why bother shipping it out of county? It was county stuff. But a lot of places, they combine them, because then it makes it truly unique, and that helps in some ways for authentication. Personally, I think it's BS. I think it should just be a separate election day for the president and be done with it, because we all have state and county pretty much nailed down. Keep an eye on everyone who is crying or complaining or fearing or confusing. Exactly why are they all attacking any of this in any way, shape, or form? I don't know. Why don't you ask the Republicans why they're doing that? They're allowing it. They certainly do not believe in fair justice or due process. I agree with you. The people who are screaming outside of the counting locations do not like it when you count the vote because they're losing. They're stopping the vote where they've already won, they think, and they're stopping the vote when they think they might lose. And they want the vote to count more because they don't want Biden to win, so they want it somehow to flip. Only terrorists, communists, and dictators and criminals believe in. Yep. The proof is also in whoever attacks my comment here. It's not getting posted if you're going to be an asshole setting a trap like that. Just because someone says that they don't agree with you, I currently agree with everything you said, doesn't mean that you should do that. If you disagree with me, then that proves you're wrong. No, it just means that they don't agree with you personally. Maybe they don't understand it, but you're saying, so far, nothing unusual. The American justice system is the last hope here. If you are attempting to hinder or stop it in whatever way, shape, or form, then you're contributing to the darkest evils in the universe. Think about that until no end. I agree with you, except for one thing. Justice system doesn't have to be involved here. It's not justice system. If you're talking about Trump demanding that a lawsuit happen because he lost an election somewhere, because that's what's going on, then he's the evil. Now, I understand that you're really betting that I didn't figure out you're a conservative trying to hide this, or are you? If you're going to be ambiguous, I get to be ambiguous as well. But everything you said here may be factual and true, except for that last part. The proof is also in whoever attacks my comment. Come at me, bro. Comments like that are not acceptable. That's literally trolling. I might let it post, but I don't have to, because I don't have to care. Do you honestly believe Trump would be refusing to concede the election if he didn't have some sort of plan? Yes. And no. He didn't have a plan. His current plan is to create chaos, same thing he's been doing for 4 years, and bet that people will put up with him questioning it if he just keeps asking, what's with all the fake votes? What's with all the illegal ballots? Because illegal ballot is code word for Democrats voting. Or people voting by mail-in, even though that's how he did, or some of his family or friends did. No, he didn't have a plan, but his current plan, what they were able to figure out is that he's planning on delaying it enough to where the deadline, which was yesterday, stops and nobody can count any more votes. Now, I'm going to point this out one more goddamn time. As of today, just like it's been for a few days now, if Trump stops the count and demands a summary execution, it is now Georgia, Pennsylvania, and I think Nevada, or is it Arizona, if they stop counting. Stop counting anything. He will lose ridiculously the Electoral College, which doesn't make sense. I'm going to say something that's going to shock a lot of you. We're at a 50-50 point. He shouldn't lose that bad. It's like 158 to 170 or something like that. He's lost by 10 electoral votes in a 50-50 split election. No, I don't want that either. His best bet, he's already lost if they'd stop the count right now, because the Electoral College, Biden has more votes in the Electoral College than Trump. If he stops it right now, that actually is a combination that's technically legally permitted, which is really strange, I found out. He loses because it's clearly a larger number. If it's not just that you have to have an unambiguous 270 or whatever the number is, it's that it can just be a simple majority or have more than, which is different than a majority. Trump has fewer votes in the Electoral College. He loses. He has slightly less votes in the popular vote, if they actually paid attention to that. And here's the bad part. They're going to keep counting the local elections because they're not legally required to ignore the ballots for the local people. The House of Representatives needs to be worked out, and the House of Representatives currently is leaning heavily Democrat right now. It should be a split bunch. If it isn't split and there's just one more Democrat than Republican, he then loses because they're the next group of people that get to vote him out. Let's review. Every single thing about the situation says that if he gets his way, what he keeps saying he wants, because he doesn't think before he talks, he would lose the election 3 fucking ways. Oh, excuse me, 4. The number of states as well. There aren't any combinations where he's the winner, no matter how you fucking slice it. When I ask people to acknowledge this by just putting the numbers up, they say, well, that's not relevant. Then what the fuck is? Your will, your demand that everybody else's vote is invalidated because you can yell louder? Not the persons who are making this comment. Their comments. That's not them. I do have to apologize to somebody. I got mad because I was asked a really cockamamie question on one of the channels. And I said, you, instead of you people out there. I should have said that. I hope we didn't get insulted. Please understand when I'm raving about somebody's comments. It's really the comments on some website you got it from, not you. The former mayor of New York, no, that's Giuliani. He's not a former anything. He's just some idiot. He would look like a complete moron if Trump ended up losing, and he said he'd going to win the election. Then his motivation is to try to not look bad. I don't know what the plan is. There isn't one, except to sow chaos. I'm absolutely certain Trump has an ace up his sleeve. He doesn't. There is no way he can win without our consent. He can't keep ruling. People like to say Trump is stupid. He wouldn't be that way if he wasn't in this position. It proves he isn't stupid. No, that's not real at all. You can look at hundreds of people who have been in power in one place or another, and they can be stupid as hell too. Trump has demonstrated something worse. He's maniacal. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with you at that. And these are my opinions. Good day.